Welcome to the LFG Pats Pod with your hosts, Joe and Mike. Let's go!
Let's do it.
All right, welcome into the LFG Pats Pod. This is episode 36. Wow, this time is flying, boys.
Already.
We're already at the bye week. This I don't want to say it, but it feels like football's almost over. If it's bad, it's December. I know. I'm scared. I don't like it.
I woke up, I was like, there's only 4 games left in the regular season.
Oh,
I can't believe it.
It feels good, but it hurts. It hurts.
It's gone by so fast. It's like since the last time we talked to Ant, everything has changed all around us. So it's like
for the good, though. For the good. Change for the good.
It's the downside of winning, right? You win a lot, so it's like the time just flies. You're having so much fun.
That's right.
That's right. So welcome Anthony Gaines back to the show. We had a nice preseason episode with Ant. We were just talking about it. Welcome back, Ant.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you guys having me back. Looking forward to discussing all things Patriots.
Heck yeah.
Hell yeah. So we're going to talk about the Giants win, guys. Obviously, that game was absolutely bananas. I think I have to predict a loss. We're not going to do any predictions tonight about the Bills game because that's 2 weeks out. So we're just going to talk about this Giants.
We'll
game.
save that for next week, right?
Segments, and we're going to talk about rest of season possibilities. Kind of what are the things that are up in the air that we're thinking about. We're going to get into all that, but first thing we have to give props to the sponsors. So Rogue Island Kitchen and Bar, we had an amazing event. We're in the works of doing another event. I'm talking to Fanatics. I'm talking to Ryan, other podcasts. I was actually talking to Savage. Savage was going to have me on the podcast tonight, but he obviously we had our podcast. So, but we're going to try to get Savage there. We're going to try to get. I know Pete's already signed up. Scotty B. We're going to have a huge megapod at Rogue Island, and hopefully we can plan this out for the Patriots postseason.
Yeah.
So we're gonna plan that out. More to come on that. But Rogue Island Kitchen and Bar, check it out, guys. Aiden Holleran, who's our probably one of our biggest fans, is like a stool in that place. He's in there every week. He's getting all kinds of food, and ever since he's gone there, they're undefeated. So there's a thing to be said about
going back.
He just has to keep going back now forever. Yeah. So there's that. There's Rogue Island. Check it out in Providence. And then there's Horizon HVAC. So Horizon HVAC, guys, check it out. These guys, they've serviced my unit already once. They serviced Pete Collins from Foxborough Fellas. You get that silver package. You get, one visit. They basically come out and check out your whole system, top you off on whatever you need, make sure you have a system that's going to run well. And then you get the gold package, and you get, the winter the visit, you get the summer visit. So it's all about peace of mind, guys. If you spend $250 now, you're not going to spend $700 to $1,000 later on. You get that, preventative maintenance going. Give him a call, Horizon HVAC. Mike Cesaroni, he's all over. Him and his wife. I think it's Mike Shee TV. They're hysterical. They're on Instagram. They have, they just put out a video. It had like 15 million hits. But the kid's a mastermind when it comes to social media, HVAC. He's buying rental properties. The guy's a nut. We're actually going to have a podcast. He's got a podcast studio in Pawtucket. So Mike and I will be heading up there at some point. We're kind of playing phone tag a little bit, but we'll make it happen soon. But anyways, so a lot going on. That game, I predicted a loss going into it just because I'm just thinking of the worst things. We just lost Will Campbell. We just lost Jared Wilson. We lost Tonga. We had Tavai out. Luckily, he came back. So we got all these guys filling in, and I'm like, all right, this is a bad mix of things, and I don't like it. I don't like the pressure. I don't like this. So I predicted a low-scoring game, but I predicted a loss. And what did you tell me what you saw in that game, and just tell me the first quarter. What did you think about that game?
Well, I mean, I think we came out hot. I love the way that we, obviously with opening kickoff. Getting good field position. I would have liked to get a score as opposed to, kicking a field goal. But, obviously we came out defensively, got that 3 and out, and then the big return by Marcus Jones. So, I expected us to win the game. I think one of the things that we've done all season long is we've beaten the teams that we were supposed to beat. But I mean, just that first quarter alone, I mean, obviously we came out hot, punched them in the mouth. Kudos to the Giants for even, trying to punch back, man. But I think we definitely set the tone pretty early defensively and also in special teams as well.
Agreed. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah.
What do you see differently in that first quarter?
First, well, obviously the fast start, and like Ant just said, they still have trouble the red zone, and we'll talk about the red zone in a little bit. But on that opening drive, it was the perfect opening drive. You need to kind of punch that in. It didn't matter. It obviously didn't matter because of the punt return. I personally felt once the punt return happened, the game was kind of over because the Giants can only do so much on offense. I was just more surprised. The most surprising thing about this is Joe picking them to lose because
I was going to let him, finish his opening statement, but I'm curious as to why he even said that. Come on,
because
Joe.
he's Johnny Optimism. Like you had them for down for what 12 wins or something like that. But
I had it for 11. I said 11 wins at the beginning of the season. Just
okay.
So, but I understand what he was saying because it did feel like going into that week there was a potential to lose some momentum just because we've been grinding for 12 weeks straight and the battle of attrition that has been piling up. And I thought that might make this team fatigued a little bit, but they came out with their hair on fire and the defensive performance. They went out of their way to punch people in the mouth. They went out of their way. So people have been saying today, like, did they have an identity? And I know it's the Giants, but did they have an identity of that before this game? And the answer is no. And now we're starting to see this identity out of this defense here where they're flying around. Christian Ellis, first of all, that was an incredibly legal hit on Jackson Dart.
He was still in bounds. Absolutely.
I'm sure we'll talk about it. Christian Ellis was all over the place. The other linebackers, Gibbons is playing great. Jackson Dart, I thought they contained him reasonably well. But once we got up 17-0 in the first quarter, I knew that the game was over. And the final score indicates that we kind of rolled over them, which we did. But I would have liked to see them kind of just selfishly step on the neck just a little bit, step on the neck just a little bit, just to really show you, because sometimes style points and margin of victory does count when it comes to people getting their power rankings going and stuff like that, which a lot of people, if they don't have the Pats at number 1 after last night, then I don't know what you're looking at. But overall, I think it was a statement win. And it came at the perfect time because these guys are banged up and they need the rest. And we left there relatively unscathed. And now they're riding on this high of being the best team in the record-wise, the best team in the league. And they can rest and recoup with that hungry dog attitude. Everybody's saying they played like dogs. So now they can go into the next game. What is it? Against the Ravens or the Bills?
The Bills.
The Bills
at home.
The Bills at home first. So now they can go in there like a bunch of, as Lawrence Taylor would say, a bunch of crazed dogs, man. So they can go in there and take it for the Bills. So I'm incredibly encouraged by that win, even though they didn't win going away as much as I would have liked to. But the start, especially the start in the first quarter, you can't get it better than that, really. That's what you're looking for in the first quarter of any game.
Yeah. And I'll say this too real quick, Joe. Part of the reason why I did feel like we were going to win was because we were going into the bye week and because we were on Monday Night Football. So, like, obviously, Vrabel he's an experienced coach. And I think the one thing going into that game that he would not let us do is have a trap game. You know what I mean? So, like, I feel like that's probably part of the reason why we saw us start so fast is because of the extra incentive of, hey, you guys get, extra time off, get healthy, but also we're going to be on Monday Night Football where we're going to be the showcase and show everybody what we got.
That's their new mantra. Their new mantra is no naps. You seen that? They made Mike Vrabel no naps apparel and gear. That's been his calling card is no naps. Don't sleep. Don't sleep on the Giants. So the guy pushes every button you need to push, just like we were all saying, potential trap game, possibly. He saw that as well, and he went way, way, way out of his way to make sure that it didn't happen. And the no naps thing is proof positive of that. The guy knows what the heck he knows what he's doing, man. I'm very happy with this.
What gave me pause, and the reason why I predicted a loss was because how they played against the Bengals, and I know. After that game, when Vrabel gave his victory speech, it looked like literally somebody died. If you looked around the room when he was giving that speech, they were not happy with that win. I think they wanted to really step on the Bengals, and the Bengals played up. The Bengals definitely played up. But on the same token, I think the Pats also they did not match the energy that they did this game. And so to me, going into that game with the injury losses, maybe their heads are down, maybe whatever. Now, obviously, like you guys said, Vrabel said, all right, guys, you put on a pretty shitty performance with the Bengals. We're not doing that again. We're not coming out flat again. And that has to be the message. That has to be the message because they've done it all year. How many games have we sat there and gone, all right, opening drive touchdown, here we go.
Right.
And it's just the same old. So Vrabel is preaching that, like, guys, we cannot start out in a hole every single week. This is going to bite us. And so, granted, it's the Giants. We'll see how they do against the Bills, but I have good faith with some rest. I do feel like hopefully they continue this trend.
By all accounts, they were saying that the locker room after the Bengals game felt more like a loss. Like the players felt like it was an L more than anything else because they knew they left so much out there. So, but the point is, if you can win ugly like that and still have so much stuff to clean up, you're still winning football games. And lesser teams need to take those lumps and take it on the chin, and they don't know how to win those games. This team's identity has become a team that knows how to close out. They know how to close games. Coaching has a lot to do with that, but his empowerment of his players has a lot to do with it too. He doesn't even have to remind them that they didn't play up to snuff. They already know what the expectation is. So they came in with their head hanging low. And Vrabel was like, it's a win. A win is a win. We got a lot to clean up. Let's get back to work. Let's get going. So he probably busted their balls all week about it, which is why they came out like some crazed animals last night. So, again, I don't want to be a dead horse, but he's pushing all the right buttons at all of the right times. And I'm just very interested to see, because we're getting to the meat and potatoes of the schedule right here now. This is where all play up. Yeah, every seed is up for grabs. It's all to be determined right now. These next 4 games are going to hold a lot of intrigue as to how the chips may fall. I can't wait to see what this guy's motivational tactics are for that last quarter of the season right here, because so far he has done no wrong on that end.
Well, you've seen the footage of the preseason where Vrabel's talking to Drake May, and he said, how many touchdowns did you guys score last year? And he said the question is not enough. Not enough, right? So he's constantly setting and resetting the standard, and I think that's a good thing for a team that's figuring out how to win. Like you said, if we were a bad team, we probably would have lost that game. So the fact that we won ugly, I don't necessarily take it as a negative. I think it's a good thing that we're figuring out how to win and how to squeak out some of these. And we have the latest bye week in the NFL, so we are kind of fatigued. We did go on the road. And we can't discount the fact that Joe Flacco is a pro quarterback, right? Like he can sling the ball. I don't care how old he is. So he's gonna stress our defense. So the fact that it was a close game and we came away with a win, but also it felt like a loss. I think that's a net positive in terms of where we're trying to go and what we're building as a team.
100%.
Yeah, the bar, right? You're basically referencing the bar at that point because you're kind of playing with your food at that point. Oh, it's not a good enough win. It's not. It's like, okay, guys, it's a win, first of all. Second of all, you can play better, and everyone is not happy with this. They're not content
100%.
with this win, and that's what you want, right? That's what you want going into this bye week is you want that game, which is a good, humble pie game to wake you up, and then you got the game where you made a statement, right? You came out and you smashed the Giants in the mouth to the point where they're complaining about how tough you're hitting them, how much you're hitting them, which is amazing. The whole fan base, everyone's calling us dirty. I'm like, this is awesome. This is great. We're dirty for making inbounds hits.
Inbound hits. Now Ellis did kind of smash Dart pretty hard, but it was a clean hit and he was in bounds.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Now there's a little bit of argument on the Gunnar Olszewski punt row. Was it a kick return hit?
Yeah.
That was a little helmet to helmet. Was he a defenseless runner at that point? I don't know. It's the rules have morphed so much that I don't really know, but it's a fucking kick return. Like, come on.
Correct. This is.
I
don't think there was anything malicious.
Violent.
Ellis was trying to move his head off to the side at the last minute.
Yeah.
He was trying to not get helmet on helmet contact.
He didn't torpedo. He didn't launch. There was none of that.
It's a split second. You have a split second to adjust at the last possible second. Sometimes that stuff's going to happen. But if you look at the replay, he turned his head. He was was not trying to spear the guy at all. He was trying to get out of there relatively unscathed. So both those plays by Ellis, I think they're both legal hits. The one on Dart, he hit him shoulder to shoulder. The kid just went flying because Ellis is a little bit of a beast, apparently. You know, he led the team.
He's got to learn how to get out of bounds. I mean,
oh my
that's
God,
my takeaway.
We were just talking about that. I'm putting that kid's over under on his career at 3 years, unless somebody coaches that out of him. But who's going to come along and save this kid? They have they
need a coach. I mean, I was saying Steve Spagnuolo from the Chiefs.
They need Bill Parcells.
He's already coached there, right?
That's probably about it. Like, I don't know.
Joe Brady, offensive coordinator of the Bills. I mean, there's a lot of options that are out there. It's just, do these guys want to make moves? You want to move off of Pat Mahomes? You want to move off of Josh Allen? One of the things that really impressed me, guys, and I'll throw this to you, Ant, first. The offensive line protection scheme was unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely.
They did a lot of creative things. I don't know what you noticed there, but what's your take on that? What'd you see that you liked?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously we were down 2 starters, right? So, you know, having Lowe and Brown in, you know, for those 2 starters that was something that I was looking for early in the game, especially with, you know, Brian Burns and you know, Abdul Carter, which, you know, Abdul Carter didn't start, but just, you know, their defensive line has the ability to get after the quarterback. I thought we did a great job, man. You know, I have to tip my hat to the offensive line in general. I think they did a really good job. I really didn't pay attention too much to the actual schemes that they were doing, but I do know that, you know, Drake May had a pretty clean pocket for the most part, which is something that you want. And, you know, if you combine that with the fact that Drake May he's very savvy in the pocket. So, you know, even if it's not clean, he can still get his eyes downfield and make plays. I mean, I thought they did a phenomenal job at just keeping his jersey clean pretty much all night. So, I know we're going to talk about the offensive line more, so I'm going to stop there. But I thought they did a great job, man.
Yeah, I think you know what they did with Munford, a guy that we originally had. Then he went to the Browns practice squad. Then we signed him back. And the guy when Marcus Bryant was a healthy scratch, I'm going, wow, that's interesting, because he filled in for Morgan Moses last week. And then so you got Munford coming in, and you're like, okay, well, Vidarian Lowe's playing left. What's he going to do? He's playing jumbo tight end.
Yeah.
Tackle eligible.
Tackle eligible. He's running. He was in motion a bunch of times. I'm like, what? Look at this giant. Looks like Hodor in motion.
Hey,
like, what is this?
They like the way that he moves.
Honestly, and Marcus Bryant, Mike and I were talking about. Marcus Bryant is kind of a statue. He wasn't known for being very agile. He was a starting left tackle at Mizzou, but he wasn't really being asked to pull or do anything crazy. I think he'll be a great depth piece. He's a good project. But between that and when I saw, you know, Hunter Henry, they were doing this thing where they were kind of like leaving 3 core guys in the middle. You'd have your Ben Brown, you'd have Bradbury, and you'd have Onwenu, good Lord, in the middle. And then you'd have your tackles kind of out on an island a little bit, creating a little space. And you'd have, you know, whether it was Ramondre or Hunter Henry, kind of holding that first block. It wasn't even a chip. It was actually like a first good engage. And then they pass off to the tackle. And meanwhile, all Drake May had to do is just shuffle up into the pocket. And he had that core of 3 guys. I mean, it was pretty genius. I mean, we'll get into the flowers later. I don't want to spoil anything there, but
there were also a couple of times where, and I'm not sure if this was a Drake May check, but he would essentially line up the running back right behind the offensive lineman to be able to pick up the blitzing, which I think, again, I'm going to go ahead and give Drake May the credit, you know, for that, but I think that also helped in the, you know, protection scheme as well.
Yeah. When he noticed that inside pressure, right? All right, we're going to put you here, right? Because they're coming here. We know they are. What do you think, Mike? What'd you see?
The best indication of how the offensive line performed can be summed up in 2 words: Vidarian Lowe. Did either of you hear his name? Did you hear his name called at all, even once? They might have said it at the beginning just because he was starting, but after that, you didn't hear his name for the whole entire time. That's exactly what you're looking for out of your tackle. All right, you don't want to hear any noise from your tackle. If you don't hear any noise, that means he's doing his job. Now, again, they're running the same protection schemes as they do with Will Campbell. They were giving Joe. We talked about ad nauseum about how much help they give Will with those chip block, and it's not even a chip block. Just like what you said, they'll have one guy hold him up, and then the left tackle sitting back there waiting for the guy to make his second move.
Yeah,
And by
pass
that
him
time,
off, and then a lot of times it's beautiful because you have that guy setting him up, and then you pass him off, and then it's the delay route, and so now
that guy's wide open.
That's right.
And he's wide open, or
everybody drops off in coverage, and
yeah. So you have to forget who he was thrown to. I think it was a Diggs pass. But yeah, that guy came off the block. He sucked up the linebacker, and that allowed that second level throw. So it was perfect.
That's Josh McDaniels stuff right there. Josh McDaniels is a master at knowing how to protect his linemen. He has so many different scheme combinations when it comes to stuff like that you knew he was going to give the guy help. And it's not even that much. It wasn't much of a scheme change from what they've generally done this whole season. Like what I just said,
it was plug and play. It really was plug and play.
Yeah,
you're not wrong.
I love to see it.
So
awesome.
if they can hold the fort until Will comes back, from what I understand, I don't know if he's got a grade 3 MCL sprain. So that is a small tier in the MCL. So that is potential for surgery, but they didn't recommend it, thank God. So hopefully he can come back within the 4 weeks. But I don't know if he's going to be full strength until like 6 weeks. So if this kid can just hold it through the regular season,
we can get a first round bye. If we can get a first round bye,
that'll be perfect.
Oh, that'll be
perfect.
Chef's kiss. That'll be Chef's kiss.
And then he can come back for it. Yeah.
Doug Kayed put this out. Vidarian Lowe, 2 hurries. Ben Brown, 1 hurry. Garrett Bradbury, clean sheet. Mike Nwenu, 1 hurry. Morgan Moses, 1 hurry. I mean, if that doesn't say it, I don't know what does. No sacks.
That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing that we were missing, last year in these last few years is just the protection of the quarterback. So, especially when you got, playing out of his mind, if you can protect him, and that just builds confidence in him. There were a couple times where he was in the pocket, and I was like, man, get rid of it. And he just at the last second, he gets the ball out, but he's comfortable to be able to hold the ball that much longer, man. So I love to see it.
I agree. Brian Burns made a comment.
Oh my God, this freaking guy!
You saw that, right?
Oh my God,
I didn't see that. What did he say?
Yeah, he's too poised in the pocket.
Yeah, he basically said like he thinks too much, and sometimes he holds on to it a little too long. And I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? He dices up deep. He literally said he's too poised in the pocket. Talk about an oxymoron. What is that even supposed to mean? Crying out loud.
I don't understand what that's supposed to be. I mean, two poised. Like, I mean, he's not. I think Cam Ward was 2 poised in the pocket. At Miami, just kind of standing there. But I mean, I think he looks very, very comfortable in the pocket.
But Drake's pocket awareness has grown so exponentially throughout the course of the season. His 2 poised is, he's going to let you 2 edge idiots run by him and then step up in the pocket, keep his eyes downfield, and make the play after 3 or 4 seconds. Is that 2 poised? Is that what you mean by 2 poised? Because that's what I'm seeing out of this kid. And it looks like the perfect amount of poise to me from where I'm sitting.
I agree.
I want to talk about, and this is something we talk about every game, but these marquee Drake May throws, it like, if I get what people say about the schedule, right? The schedule is, you got the Jets twice, we've heard about this for 20 something years, right? Oh, you're playing
this
the
is the
Jets
division
twice.
we're playing.
Play the Dolphins, whatever.
It's not our fault. All those other teams have been inept for 20 years. How is that the Patriots' fault that the other organizations can't get?
Say it louder for the people in the back, Mike. Say it louder.
Exactly.
How is that anybody's fault? It's your fault. It's your own fault. Woody Johnsons of the world.
But here's what you can't take away. You cannot take away, and it's like 3 to 5 marquee passes. And when I say marquee passes, I mean 3rd, 4th read, stepping up in the pocket, shifting around, and just making either a layered pass or an outstretching deep. I mean, he literally leads the league in 10+ yard accuracy and yards. The next best quarterback is 200 yards, 200 less yards. He's absolutely shattering all the areas. The only time that Brady did that, and I don't want to compare Brady to May, but the only time Brady did that was with Randy Moss. These guys aren't Randy Moss. We got Kayshon Boutte. We got Stephon Diggs, he's not a deep ball guy. Thank God Kyle Williams is finally clearly shown his ceiling. Yeah, he's shown his ceiling.
What a dime, right? Huh? That was a dime.
My hard. And then all the hate
Yeah.
around people saying that his knee was out of bounds first. I'm like, he had like 5 feet in.
Get out.
Right.
He had one
Right.
down before you even thought he had a foot down. And then he pitter-patted another one. And then the guy's hand was on the ground and he stepped on it then. I'm like, anyways. So, yeah, I mean, this guys, this happens every week now. This is the norm. This isn't like, oh, it's a one-off or a two-off. Every single week, Drake May shows he can make any throw on the field from anywhere on the field, running, stopping. It's I don't know. I'm in awe. I'm really just in awe. I did not see this coming.
You don't want
There were 3 throws. Mike.
No, I was just gonna say the scariest part about it is that Drake May is watching all of Tom Brady's film, who Josh McDaniels was the coordinator for. So basically all the stuff that Josh couldn't install for various reasons, like rollouts, naked boots, waggles, stuff like that, to get a pocket moving and whatnot. All the things that he couldn't do with Brady, he's able to do with May, but May's also able to run the plays that Brady did as well with a flick of a wrist. It takes no effort whatsoever. So it's like the same playbook, but with a much better athlete. Now, Tom Brady's the greatest quarterback of all time. Don't get me wrong. He's the most clutch player I've ever seen in my entire life. Drake May is going to have to win several Super Bowls in order to get the comparison, but to see the ease in which he flicks the ball 40 yards at a clip, just like that, Tommy would have to wind up and just haul that thing to get the same velocity and the same yardage. So it's just very scary to think once they really open Pandora's box with Josh McDaniels' playbook, with the athlete that Drake May is, especially including like the mental acumen that he's achieved. Basically every week he gets smarter and smarter, it seems. I'm sorry, that was my rant.
No, I love it. So I think one of the things that gets lost in the shuffle is obviously he has a super high completion percentage, but his accuracy and his ball placement in the way that the receivers are able to catch the ball and continue to run. So if you think back to that Kyle Williams catch against the Buccaneers, right? Obviously, it was tight coverage. He put it over the defender, but Kyle Williams was able to catch the ball and just turn up right away, then do what he does best, which is turn on the jets. If you go back to the game last night, I think it was the first quarter throw to Hunter Henry. It's probably like a 30, 40-yard pass. Drake May kind of pump fakes it down to the check down, but then he ends up hitting Hunter Henry. But again, it was in a placement where Hunter Henry was able to catch the ball cleanly, turn up, and not have to slow down. It wasn't a wobbly ball. So, I get it. Just like we talked about, schedule be damned. He's making the plays and he's making it look easy, which is great for the confidence of the receivers. They're playing free, and it appears that he's playing with a higher caliber of receivers just by the way that Josh McDaniels is scheming up the plays, by the way he's able to execute the playbook. And again, he's putting the ball exactly where it needs to be, and he's getting the ball on time. That's the biggest thing too. He's I know he's too poised, but when when he winds up and you could tell he's about to launch the ball, I'm expecting it to be completed because he's just playing with that high of an accuracy down the field. So
it's amazing the feeling of a 3rd and 8 or a 3rd and 12 or a 4th and 7. All these these distances we were like, oh no way, we're screwed. Just punt it, please. And I
love those plays now.
Those plays, you know it. You know it. You just
it's different. It's just
and all these guys are clutch. They're all clutch. Matt Collins is clutch. Stephon Diggs is success rate when target. No, his catch success rate is 3rd in the league. Stephon Diggs. Like these guys are just. It's just a stark difference from last year. I mean, last year people couldn't catch the ball, drop central, miscues, misfires. You name it. It was just a calamity of errors. Now you got Booty playing out of his mind, Diggs playing out of his mind, and we haven't even really uncorked Diggs, which is unbelievable. Like Diggs is still being kept under wraps.
Under 50% snaps, which boggles my mind. He's always.
They don't want. I do agree. I think it was Aiden, or I forget who said it. It was the last podcast or the podcast before, but it was actually Pete. It was Pete from Foxborough Fellas. I do think that they're holding back on him. I think they're trying to not, when it comes to goal line, they're trying not to show everything, and that's why we saw some struggles last week. We continue to struggle at short yard distance, and that's the only thing I can think of is they're trying to hold back plays in some of these games, but
doesn't
there could also be struggles.
Well, he leads the team in targets and receptions, I believe. So, I think I do agree with you that I think he could be featured a little bit more. But the way that I see it is, and I have to give all the credit to Diggs. He's not my flower guy, but I have to give a lot of credit to Diggs in that he's developing and he's helping some of these younger guys develop and to find their role in the team and not be so much of a throw me the ball type of guy, which we've heard that's what he's been in the past. So I think that as we come down the stretch and we get into those clutch moments, think about that Buffalo game. Anytime we needed somebody to make a play, we went to Diggs, right? So I could see that being the trend as we get closer into some of those clutch games.
Yeah,
I think
100%.
he's so important to that wide receiver room. He sets the tone. He's a great leader of these young men. His attitude is completely in the right place. He is all bought in because he has a player's coach and a stud young quarterback. So that's the situation that he wanted to come into, and he's being the best trooper that you could possibly imagine. Now, where I'm coming from with him is he's at this stage of his career, he's a friggin' slot machine. If you have 3rd and 4, 5, 6, 7, I guarantee you this guy will find the open spot in the zone under those circumstances every single third down. So, and we've seen it time and time again. And I think that his potential has yet to be tapped yet because they haven't given him the full workload. They haven't really needed to. They have a good stable of rotations guys here with the wide receiver room. But I've been Joe and I, way back when he first got signed, we questioned the move, but every single thing this guy's done ever since he came here screams quality dude, team player, fantastic ball player, and I think that he can get open anytime he wants over the middle.
He's got that whip route online. That whip route he runs is unguardable.
Yeah.
You cannot guard that. That pivot.
He's got a sixth sense to where people are. He just knows peripherally where the soft zones are, how far away people are. He can just sit down. He'll sit down and get you 5 or 6 yards single time.
He's a lot more cerebral, like Randy Moss, where
he's
people
crafty.
thought, oh, he's just Randy's just fast. It's like no. Literally, Bill Belichick.
He definitely understands the game.
Yeah, Bill Belichick called Randy Moss the smartest player that he's ever played with. That's not a mistake.
Right.
That is for a reason. So I see that. I don't see Randy Moss. He's totally different skill set.
Completely different player, yeah.
But when it comes down to it, we have the pieces, boys. We have all these pieces to make a serious run at this. This league, if nothing this year, has proven it is absolutely wide open. I think the only juggernaut outside that we saw last week was the Rams, and then the Rams go and lose to the Panthers, who we blew out. So literally everything is wide open at this point. There's
much parity.
There's so much parity. There's so much injury. Who knows? Anything can happen at this point. And
even with the Broncos, what? They won their last 4 games by a combined 10 points, something like that. Those guys are hanging on for dear life, for crying out loud.
And
so I think they're going
to.
And we haven't had games such as we've had close games, but not like the Broncos have. They've been pulling stuff out of their rear end
against everybody.
All quality different types of teams. I just hope we don't go in there. I don't want to go into Denver in the playoffs. I know a lot of people have said it, but I like to avoid that. But I think we can because I think we can lock up the number 1 seed. Personally,
I do too.
I agree.
Personal opinion, not a diagnosis. Just an opinion. We're
going to get into that. We're going to talk about the rest of the season. So let's start the next segment. So we got a special segment tonight. Given that we're at the bye week, we figured, it's probably a good time to give out some flowers because, there's some people on this team that have done a lot. And I think to me, the flowers that I'm giving out are going out to the people that I think are a big part of that kind of nucleus of the team that maybe they're not. And we made a rule on this, right? So you can't say Drake May and you can't say Mike Vrabel because that's just too easy. So we'll start with you, Ant. Who are you giving your first flower out to?
All right. So, I'm going to give my first flower out to Craig Woodson.
Oh, nice.
I like it.
So let me explain. So his development is what's helped make Duggar and Peppers expendable. number one, right? So like even though they're more of like an in the box safety, he's more of a free safety. I think he played so well. He's always in the right position. He's third on the team in tackles, and he's tied for fourth or fifth on the team in tackles for loss. So the kid's all over the place, man. And I think he's done a great job at just holding down the back end of the defense. If you notice, teams don't really go deep on us. We kind of force them to check the ball down. And I think he's a big reason for that. The fact that he's a rookie and the fact that we've put so much trust on him, man, we got to give him his flowers.
I agree. I'm with you, man. That's a really good one. I like that.
He stole mine. I have to cross him off the list. I swear to God.
Put him back. Yeah.
I had Craig Woodson on there. His impact has been notable. He's a 4th round pick. When we drafted him, I wasn't in love with it because at the time we had Peppers and Duggar, and I thought his skill set would end up being redundant to those two guys. But Vrabel obviously had a bigger plan for this kid. He plays him everywhere. That kid plays free. He plays strong. He plays in the box. He covers the tight ends. They'll flex him out if they need to be. He's become an absolute chess piece in that defense, and he's got like a 98% snap share. I think he's missed like 5 snaps on defense all year long, like no joke at all.
Right.
He's one of the dudes that's on there. He's like a core member of that defense, and he's going to be a core member for years to come. So I love that. I love the fact that people are giving him recognition because I think he's a big part of what they're doing. Exactly what Ant said.
Just think about it last night. There were like 2 or 3 plays. I can think of 2 plays specifically where if he didn't make the tackle, the running back was off to the races. So again, it's and that's
Singletary was going to break.
Singletary.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's really what you want out of your safety. I mean, obviously, in a best case scenario, the running back doesn't even get up to the safety level. But if he does, you want somebody that's a willing tackler nonetheless, right? So I think he's done a phenomenal job this year for us.
Absolutely.
So, Mike, are you switching it up? Or you staying?
No,
I
gotta switch it up. I gotta get to another guy.
Yeah.
There's plenty of guys to go around. I'm gonna take what might be a pretty obvious one, but it needs to be pointed out is Marcus Jones. We need to talk about Marcus Jones.
That was mine. We're stealing each other's.
It goes right.
Next time, man.
All right.
We're gonna do round robin style until we exhaust all of our lists.
This is awesome. This is perfect.
You can't not give this kid his flowers. He's having a season from friggin' hell, man. Like the kid has done it all. Everything's coming up. You want to talk about flowers? Everything's coming up flowers for this kid. He is a friggin' dog in the nickel slot. He is filling in the run game. He is 5'8". He's tiny, but he friggin' sticks his nose in there. He's not afraid of anybody. He's gluey and sticky on coverage. Yes, he's going to get beat by guys that are over 6 foot. Just call spades spades. But if you get into the right defense and don't keep passing off, and somebody checks the bigger guy, Drake London, then that won't happen. They screwed that whole game plan up, and that's what messed Marcus Jones up in that game. But the things that he is capable of doing on defense, and obviously I'm not even talking about special teams yet. The things that he does on defense, he's got an 80% snap share. So they're like almost exclusively playing a nickel because they value him so much. And he's the first. He's the first dude that got an extension off of this new Mike Vrabel regime. And he got named as a captain. He was completely oblivious to that. He had no idea he was even going to be named a captain. But
the
because
players did it. And
that's a player
Absolutely.
vote. And because of his demeanor, his attitude on and off the field, like that's a prototypical Mike Vrabel Patriot. And he's really stepped up. He got a defensive player of the month for crying out loud. And he already has it. He already has a special teams player of the week. He's about to get another one. I'm going to tell you that much right now. But now, on top of everything else, he leads the league all time in punt return yardage average at 14 something. It used to be 12 something because the minimum is 75 punt returns, right? So he just on his 75th return that made him eligible, he went 94 yards to the friggin' crib. And once you saw him take that one move, you're like, this kid's gone. Nobody's catching this kid.
It's over.
So you could put him. I mean, if we needed him on offense, you could do that. But guess what?
We will see that in the playoffs. I guarantee they're not.
It
We will
just
see that.
speaks to how versatile this kid is. Like, he is an indispensable chess piece. The fact that they knew that and realized it and locked him up early. He doesn't have an agent either, by the way, I just learned. So he negotiated that contract by himself, and $9 million a year for this kid who could be not only the best nickel corner, but the best punt returner in the league. $9 million a year is an absolute
He's a
bargain for crying
Absolutely,
out loud.
yeah.
So I'm very impressed with him. There's a lot of other guys I'm impressed with, but that guy tops the list right there. Marcus
Mike,
Jones
you said all my goddamn points, so I can't
I'm
even.
sorry.
I can't even add.
You can't even add anything to it.
I was gonna add Flowers on top. I was gonna mention the stat on the 75th return, but obviously we're subscribed to the same feeds.
No, we just share a brain when it comes to shit like this sometimes.
It's true. But no, it's 100%. I mean, Marcus Jones he's one of those guys where it's like, man, this guy just pays off, and every single week he pays dividends. The guy is just unbelievable, and I think they will use him. I think Josh McDaniels is like the coach in the Water Boy, right? He's got that green fucking book where he's like, would he lose it? They're like, oh, the other coach
left.
stole it.
No, he thinks about faking left.
Yeah, he fakes it. Thinks about faking. Yeah. So he's I'm telling you, he's got those plays coming. So my flower, and this should be a very obvious one to a lot of people, but Kairos Tonga, man. I never, honestly, that signing kind of made me scratch my head a little bit. I knew what he was capable of, but I wasn't sure how he would fit in the scheme with Barmore and Williams and Landry and Farmer and all these guys that we have. Now we got Durden, who's another guy. He's a little early to give a flower to because he just started.
Did you see him yesterday? He was going nuts.
All over the place.
Because the Giants cut him, so he has like this big axe to grind with them. He was going he was outside of his mind. After
Vrabel got caught on a hot mic. He was like 17-0.
Seriously, I love the fire. I just thought he might like spontaneously combust. That's how.
Right.
Well, they said you're not good enough. They said you're not good enough to play in the Giants. So Vrabel said you're not good enough to play in the Giants, but you're damn good enough to play on the Patriots. And so
he's pretty stout down there. He's stout.
Oh, he is, and he honestly, I think it was Baldy, Brian Baldinger. He did a little breakdown of Durden. And man, his technique and his ability to engage and then shed.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, go check it out. It's on X. His breakdowns every week, and now we got Orlovsky starting to do breakdowns of Drake May. That was amazing too.
He's good. Orlovsky's good with that stuff.
Yeah, check that stuff out. But let's get back to Tonga. I mean, honestly, guys, and obviously we missed him this week, but Durden's filled in amazing. And that was one of my other reasons for being scared is, we don't have Tonga. We don't have Milton Williams. We're going to get run on. I thought for sure that you'd see a lot of Singletary. You'd see a lot of Tyrone Tracy. And Dart can run too. And we had problems against Jets quarterback there, Justin Fields, right?
Fields.
No, it was Fields. When we played against him at home, he was running around a lot. So I'm like, mobile quarterback plus this, I'm like, this is not good. We're going to get run on. But Tonga is such a compliment. And then you put him on the offensive side of the ball, like Marcus Jones, where he plays multiple aspects of the game. And he makes a difference.
Knocks people right out of the way.
And just think about those.
He definitely clears holes big time.
Yeah. The goal line situations, the we need 1 yard situations. I mean, we're sorely missing him. So
see, Joe, that's why we were the top defense rushing in the league, the least amount of rush yards against us, is because of that 5-man front when you had Tonga in the middle
100%.
and then Barmore and Williams flanking him, and then your two edges, Landry.
Shut down everybody.
How do you get past? How do you get past that wall of 5 guys right there? So we're gonna have to mix and match in the interim. Hopefully Tonga comes back, but when they're back to full strength in the playoffs, I fully anticipate that 5-man front coming back because it is a stone wall. And those 3 interior guys, Tonga has made an enormous impact. And on top of that, he is a dynamic straight line rusher, like an A gap, just to beat the center off the bat.
Yeah.
He'll beat the center in the guard. He'll just go straight. He doesn't have to do a bunch of fancy moves.
He breaks down the pocket, moves the pocket.
That's what I was going to say as well. All of those guys can win from the interior in the pass rush, which is huge, right? So you got Milton Williams who can win, and Tonga. So if you got guys that can win, now you're not having to force to bring extra pressure. You can just kind of sit back and play coverage, and your D line can eat by getting to the quarterback. So yeah, it's an embarrassment of riches of sorts, right? We got to get healthy, but that's a really good picture.
All right, Ant, who's your next one?
I think this might feel like an obvious pick, but just because it's a position that I played, it's a position that I coach. High school, I got to give my flower to Robert Spillane, man. So,
my God,
I have to go to him. I have to go to him now. So, okay. So what he brings to our defense is something that we haven't had at the linebacker position. I don't remember when. I have flashbacks and PTSD of the Jawan Bentleys of the world, who is almost there to make the play, but just doesn't have the speed to get sideline to sideline. If the ball's coming right to him, yeah, he's going to make the tackle. But Spillane, he is all over the place, man. He's a three-down linebacker. Obviously leads the team in tackles, but 5 pass defense, 2 interceptions. Like, he's involved in the passing game, which is something that I think it allows us to be so schematically sound, and it allows us to mix things up by having a guy who can hold down the fort in the middle of the defense. Obviously, he's a gamer, man, right? And I think coming down the stretch, as we face teams that are going to try to run the ball, especially if we have guys in the interior hurt, he's going to be that much more critical to our success on the defense.
Yeah, I agree. And it wasn't really at the beginning of the year, we were all scratching our heads like, oh crap, are we screwed at linebacker? And he has every single week he has built. And I don't know if it's like being more comfortable with his players and how he can, like, how can I depend on this guy to do this? And maybe he's just like, now he's like, all right, I can trust them and I can just focus on me. But every week he's built. It's really unbelievable to see his progression.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable that we keep stealing each other's picks. I can't believe.
Now, who are you going to steal from me? Let's see.
We all keep going around, and I guarantee that you're not going to steal this one. But I had Spillane lined up, man, because the guy has transformed the defense. And yes, Joe, you were right. We were complaining about him in the first 2 weeks because he was like leading the league in missed tackles. So we were like, what is this guy doing? But once they settle down and figure it out, he is the captain. He's the leader of that defense. He obviously wears the green dot. So he gets everybody in the right spot, and he's incredibly versatile. He's a little smaller, 6'2", 230, but he can whip around the field. So he can fill the hole. He can also spy, and he can also catch a running back, try to cover them in a pinch. But he's a very incredibly smart, heady player. You should hear the way that other people, like the other teammates, his teammates talk about him like he's a friggin' jackrabbit. Like, he's got energy to spare. They're like, sometimes I can't. Christian Ellis, like a couple weeks ago, was like, sometimes I can't even deal with this guy because he's like a puppy dog. Like, he's always chomping at the bit, ready to go, ready to work out, ready to be competitive.
That's what you want in a middle linebacker, though, right?
He never turns it off. He never turns it off. He's got some crazy in him, man. That's what exactly what you just said. That's what you need in your middle linebacker. That guy that's just like, F all of it. Let's freaking go get him, man. So that's I've been very impressed with him after the first 2 weeks of the season. So I love that pick a lot. The guy I'm going to go with next is Kayshon Boutte, and the reason why is first of all the way that he has matriculated forward in his career from getting drafted until now. The kid had a tough road. He got into trouble at LSU. They thought that he was going to be one of the guys, like one of the Justin Jeffersons, one of the Jamar Chases.
He was a talent.
When he was a sophomore, he had that 3-touchdown game. Like, he was putting up all kinds of numbers, and then he got caught up in boneheaded stuff like a laptop scandal, and then last year
injuries.
He fractured his ankle, which took him years, and then the coaching regime changed and he fell out of favor. So the poor kid was like persona non grata. So when he came in here, he was still very incredibly rough around the edges. And I don't think he got much coaching his first couple of years, but this year he has absolutely blossomed. And Mike Vrabel has talked about this guy. He's like, look, this guy's like a little bit of a closed off, standoffish person. You know, he kind of keeps to himself in his own business. But one thing I have noticed is that nobody works harder than him, and he's done everything he could. He made a commitment to be a part of this team, and he's done everything he could and more. And I couldn't be happier for a guy like that. And I agree, because he's our 1X. Let's face it. Okay. And I'm absolutely fine with it. He blocks well, and him and Drake May. But the most important thing is that him and Drake May have built up so much chemistry over the past 2 years that they both know what's going to happen. He knows where Kayshon Boutte's going to be. He might only get three catches a game, but they're always clutch catches.
Huge
and
catches.
He's moving the chains, or he's catching a touchdown. He's up to like 6 touchdowns this year too.
And he's another guy. He's another guy that's super heady. And so I don't know if you guys saw the clip a few weeks ago with Josh McDaniels, and they both saw the same thing. And meanwhile, Boutte's in the game. McDaniels is like, "Oh, that's a touchdown!" Like, and you can see Boutte come up to him afterwards. He's like, "Oh, as soon as he did this, like as soon as he made a move inside, he knew he had leverage, and he knew
they saw the same thing.
He stacked him. He stacked him perfectly. He was on the inside. He came over, stacked him, and then released, and it was over. It was like just. And it's just amazing that you have a player that's that young that had he had a breakout year last year to an extent for him. And then you thought, all right, is that his ceiling? Who knows? Josh McDaniels comes in, and now he's on the same page with him, talking about like veteran type plays. And then he just makes the plays. He makes all these big plays and these big moments, and it's like, holy shit.
Well, it's amazing. It's amazing what buy-in will do for you too, right? So like he's bought in.
Exactly.
He's bought into the system. He's bought into the coaching. And obviously, the kid was talented coming out of college, but it was just, he just didn't have that full support. So the fact that he is bought in, now we're seeing the fruits of that right now. And again, the thing I love about it is that he's developing that relationship with Drake May. He's our deep ball receiver, right? I mean, he doesn't have a ton of drops. He's a hands catcher, which I love. Absolutely love a hands catcher. I don't like a guy who hits with their body. So, so he's doing all the right things, man. I think he's only going to get better from there.
He's I mean, that's I talk about that a lot. I've talked about it a lot this whole season long, and even last season, about his handwork. His handwork is second to friggin' none. The way that he sets defenders up, and the way that he shows late hands, like that's the type of thing that you can coach into somebody, but it's something that he already has naturally. And when I mean late hands, he doesn't show that DB hands until that ball is right in his breadbasket and he's catching it right here. His movements are so subtle. It's like it's like a smooth criminal out there. And there's one play last week where it was one of the in the first half, he didn't have a lot of catches, but he was lined up to the right, and he did an out and up and a dig. And Drake knew exactly where he was going to be at all times. And it was like he pulled like at least 3 different moves, but yet him and Drake were on the same page. When I've seen Drake May miss that, like if that was Kyle Williams, for example, he probably would have fulfilled the go route.
Flung it deep,
and then it would have gone to the wrong spot. But he could see out of his peripherals that Drake was kind of floating over. He's like, let me go help my quarterback. Let me work back toward. And it was a perfect play. And that exemplifies his relationship with Drake May. Now, look, if we
they're seeing the same thing, they're seeing it all together.
Yeah, if we could get
a
you know that I love a big 6'4" alpha X receiver that can just run go routes and moss people all day left and right. But I'm pretty satisfied with our wide receiver room. Matt Collins has been a pleasant surprise. He's a blocking machine. Pop Douglas flashes. He has his moments. I've already spoken about Diggs.
Let's not name too many players here. We're gonna make don't steal my flowers.
Well, no, I already had a flower. I'm just saying, like the room is developing, and that's what you're looking for, is the room to develop. And Kayshon Boutte has been like one of the main recipients of that development. He's really embraced it. I think he's turned himself into a good ball player. So he's a sneaky good player that not a lot of people outside of us are talking about.
Well, my next flower is going to somebody who I talked a lot of shit about. And it wasn't because he was a bad player, but it was mainly because I thought, he would have some catches here and there, and he might block a little bit. He might do some things. It's Matt Collins. It's Matt Collins.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Matt Collins is the glue to this offense, and I get it, right? Booty's making the big plays. Diggs can be the glue at times, but it just seems like every game he is like, one, he pumps up the guys around him. Like he's the first guy calling a touchdown. He's the first guy laying out blocks, the last guy laying out blocks. And he makes like he can take over a game. He can do this. He can do almost all the same things that Diggs does. Diggs is a more refined route runner. Absolutely. Sure. But when it comes to finding soft spots in the zone, and actually he doesn't even have to be the fucking open because he's 6'4". He's a goddamn monster. If you see him next to a linebacker or a cornerback, and he always outsizes them. So you can literally just throw him a jump ball and he's going to come down with it. He's done it multiple times with Drake May. So to
he's
me,
useful.
He's a very useful. He's going to come down as like one of the unsung heroes this year, especially if we make a deep run. I mean, the guy is just he just makes plays and he just doesn't care about anything but making plays and pumping the team up. He comes in every game with a new outfit. He walked in with the tire and I'm like, oh my God, it wasn't even just Halloween. It's like this guy just keep going with these outfits and this crazy.
He's crazy. Have you ever seen his social media feed?
Oh yeah.
I've seen his social media feed. Yeah.
He's got like 14 different channels. He's got like Max Hacks and he does like stuff in the
That's
kitchen.
the one that I listen to. Yeah.
Yeah. He does like
some of those hacks are pretty good though. I'm not gonna lie.
They're a little awkward. They're a little dry. It's a little dry. I love dry humor. So I'm like, is this funny? Is it supposed
but
to
he
be
does
funny?
like stuff with science and history and like conspiracy theories. Like the kid's got his hand in every single pot. And I can't help but wonder if the Bills wish they just friggin' hung on to him and Diggs and they'd probably be beating us in the division right now. So the joke's on you, Bills. Sorry. We got you. You thought those guys were washed. Sorry. They're putting in dividends. Matt Collins is an incredibly useful player on and off the field. He breaks people down in the weight room. Like he gets people going. Those two guys, Diggs and Hollins, are leaders, and they're really bringing up this young crew. And that I think that had a lot to do with Booty's development as well. So I like the room they put together. You know, I don't want them to mess with it.
I didn't. You know, it's funny because everyone was talking about the trade deadline and adding receivers and AJ Brown and this and that. I'm like, I don't want any of them right now. Maybe next year. Let's talk about that next year.
I think we got a good thing going right now.
We're good. I agree.
Really good chemistry, and you know, Matt Collins, he comes up big third down, right? Like it seems like almost every catch is an important clutch catch, and he brings a certain toughness too. I mean, obviously it helps being 6'4", but you know, the fact that, you know, after he catches the ball, he just does his little, you know, straps on, you know, type of thing, and he towers over the DBs, man. It brings a certain element of toughness and swag to the offense that we haven't had. And you know,
his catch radius is enormous.
It really
just throw it in his area, man.
And he never really got used that way either, which is interesting. He was always like a deep ball guy. Like, I don't know. And he almost had a big one. What was it, 2 weeks ago? And the Jets game, he almost had a huge catch. And then the safety made a
DB came in at the last minute. It was
disgusting. It was just a really good play. And of course, May put it right in the bucket. All right, Ant, who's your next flower?
He's a dog, and we want dogs. So we love all the dogs.
We want dogs.
Yeah, you know.
So this is going to be the equivalent of being the first guy to draft a kicker. Even not going with the kicker, I'm going to be the first guy to give a flower to a coach. I'm going to give my flower to Josh McDaniels, man.
Yeah,
have to.
I mean, I love Josh McDaniels as a coordinator. I'm not too fond of Josh McDaniels as a head coach. I think his main niche is being a coordinator, but also quarterback development. I think what we're seeing, you know, obviously, you know, we can give our flowers to Drake May, but that is just an extension of the work and the development that Josh McDaniels has been doing for him. He schemes guys open, which is the biggest thing, right? Like, especially with a young quarterback, you want to limit the amount of complicated reads that they have to make. You know, a lot of times Drake May, he's going from, you know, first read, second, but he knows where that third read is. And that's a testament to the way that Josh McDaniels has been designing these plays. There was a play yesterday where it was a 3rd and 1, and I was screaming at the TV because he passed the ball, didn't get it. But that just goes to show the level of confidence that Josh McDaniels has instilled in Drake May, but also that Mike Vrabel has given to Josh McDaniels to allow him to run the offense how he sees fit. I would love to see some improvement in in the red zone, which I think we all can agree with that. But I got to give my flowers to Josh McDaniels. He's done a great job with this offense.
When I saw Josh McDaniels show up to Patriots camp, and he was just like svelte. He was like, I don't know if he was said he was playing pickleball a lot. I'm like, damn, Josh McDaniels, because he, put on some weight. I'm like, this guy looks in shape. I feel like he's gonna like get at it this year. And they said, I guess he watched a lot of college. He watched a lot of West Coast offenses, so you can see kind of that flair he's put on the spin he's put on the Josh McDaniels offense. But I just looked at him. I'm like, this guy looks like he's in shape. He's got a young quarterback. Here we go again, right? And he hasn't upset. He really hasn't. A few games in the beginning, we were scratching our heads a little bit, but I think that was that Drake May, trying to, keep him with kid gloves and make it a little more basic or whatever. But now we've seen it, and we've seen a lot. I don't even think we've seen the most of it, right? I think we haven't even uncorked the offense. So
there's definitely another level to what we can do offensively.
There is.
Well, he's a game plan coach. He installs a different set of plays every single week. And then when we get down to the playoffs, he's going to cherry pick all the ones that work the best for us. So nobody's ever going to know. He changes his game plan every single week. So you can't really even scout out the first 15 because you don't know what game plan he's going to play. He's always been that way. But as far as his head coaching chances, I really don't think I think that ship has sailed. Like, I don't know who would give him a chance after all of the That's 2.5 head coaching situations. He walked out on the Colts, at the last minute. Mm-hmm. But I look at him as like a lifer, like a Patriots OC lifer. As long as Vrabel's around. Vrabel's been reluctant to give him flowers because he wants to give so many other guys on the staff flowers, but he's finally started to do so. So I think it's the start of a very productive relationship. And anybody that wants to hire Josh McDaniels, it will be at their own peril. But he's been very, very, very instrumental in Drake May's development as far as understanding the totality of an offense. Last year, I thought Scott Van Pelt did great work with Drake May's footwork because his footwork was all wonky, and he fixed his footwork, but he had no clue how to play calls and how to set one call up into the other and whatnot. Right. Josh is a master at that. So I feel like Drake got some fundamentals down last year. Now he's learning how to be the conductor of the whole orchestra. And it's just paying mad dividends. And I would like to see Josh McDaniels and Vrabel stick around for multiple years. And I'm sure that you guys feel the same way.
100%.
I don't know how you don't just attach yourself to Drake May and just say, this is my legacy. I coached Tom Brady and I coached Drake May. And oh, by the way, God knows how many, I'm not going to say rings or whatever with Drake May yet, but it's looking like if I had to make a bet, he might win a few. I'm just going to throw that out there. He looks like he might in his however many year career.
Why not us, guys? Why not us? There's no clear-cut favorite in the NFL this year. All the good teams are mediocre. So why the heck not us?
I agree.
Especially at this stage of the game. If I said that in week 6, you'd think I was an idiot because I would be. But we're in week 13 now, so come on. Like I think
as long as we can, get back healthy and continue to progress, which there's no reason to think that we wouldn't continue to progress. I mean, honestly, in a win or go home scenario, man, I really can't think of a team that I would want besides the Patriots at this point in time, especially defensively, right? Like we're going to hold our own defensively. And at that point, it's just the offense to make enough plays to win.
I love it.
All right, Mike, give me a flower.
Well, all right. So I'll just give you one that probably should have been mentioned. But I won't overlook his value is Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry has been a very valuable member of this club since 2021. He's stuck by through thick and thin. He's re-signed with this team. He was voted a captain this year. He's incredibly loyal, and he's grown to. First of all, he built a great relationship with Mac Jones, but he's also built an even closer relationship with Drake May. So this guy is a guy that goes out of his way to forge relationships in the building, and I see that more and more. The more I hear guys talk, the players in that building, that Vrabel kind of goes out of the way to make sure that these dudes are like forming off-field relationships with each other, because that just only can help camaraderie. It's a grind. These guys go through a grind every day with each other, so you might as well know something about the other guy and get along. And Vrabel knows that better than anybody, and so does Hunter Henry. He's ingratiated himself to everybody on both sides, and not to mention the fact that he happens to be a pretty freaking good tight end too. He's Drake's security blanket. When all else fails, we've seen it time and time again, both last year and this. When all else fails, and Henry's another guy that can work to the open soft spot in the zone, and he's done it time and time again. He's a quarterback's best friend, and I think the biggest credit to him is the fact that they believe in him so much that they didn't draft a tight end, and they only have 2 tight ends. Well, they have 3 now with CJ Dipre, but he's A, hurt, and B, inactive when he's healthy. But they only felt the need to activate 2 tight ends on their roster. That means they have an incredible amount of confidence in him and Hooper to get the job done. So I don't think his position in the offense or on the team can be understated I don't think it can be overstated, because I think he's incredibly valuable. And I think he's fundamental to Drake May's development. And he's had a good season so far, and he's getting up in the years a little bit. I think he maybe has 1 or 2 good years left. I would love to see them draft a tight end early next year, but we'll see. I'm getting ahead of myself. But Hunter Henry's been pretty valuable for this team.
Yeah. I think, as a coach myself, one of the things that I know is extremely valuable is team camaraderie. And you have to have those glue guys, right? You have to have those guys that are good in the locker room. You have to have those guys that everybody respects, because, respecting a player is not just, based on the production that they have on the field. It's what they do collectively. And I think Hunter Henry's been one of those guys, man. He's been a consummate pro. The fact that, I think they even mentioned it on the broadcast last night that, he and Drake May have gotten pretty close. You want to have, and even outside of football, obviously Hunter Henry's older, so there's just even life advice that he can give. So as long as he can continue to be that guy for the team, continue to be a stabilizer, I think that's a great guy to get flowers to. And look, as you mentioned, he's a pretty dang good tight end too, man. So I think that's a good call there.
And his blocking has gotten better. He's been a pretty good blocker this year. Right? He's never been known.
They put him one-on-one with edge guys. They put him one-on-one with all the best edge guys. And it's not to say that he's going to win that matchup, but can he hold that matchup for a little bit and then pass him off and then go for a delay route? I mean,
he's getting coached up. He's getting coached up the right way. So just like everybody else. So yeah, it's all a natural part of the progression of this whole entire team.
So I have to go coaches as well here. And there's no more unsung of a coach that probably half of Patriots fans don't even know, but Doug Marrone in this offensive line.
Doug Marrone.
I coming into the season, we said, one, Drake May will take us as far as we can go. And Mike and I said that profusely in the beginning of the season where, we're going to go as high as Drake May will take us. But on the flip side of that coin, the offensive line had to improve, right? We were the bottom of the barrel, literally last in the league last year on sacks allowed, on pressure, on run block. I mean, you name it, every single lineman category. And all I said is if we can get to middle of the pack, obviously we drafted Will Campbell, Jared Wilson. We brought in Bradbury, who I had no faith in, who I probably should give a flower to be honest.
He's been all right.
He's been pretty remarkable.
He's been solid, man. He's been solid.
Yeah, he's had clean sheets multiple the past few games. Like it's all you can ask for from a center. But Doug Marrone is, I mean, I give more credit to him, to be honest, because let's face it, Bradbury's resume was not good coming into this team. The Vikings were happy to give him away to us. And so that was to them, they were like, yeah, take him. Go ahead. And then you got, 2 rookies on the left side who, we had a little, some bumps and bruises early on with some stunts and communication, right? Who passes who calls out the stunt and who passes off what block and blah, blah, blah. So there was definitely some confusion there. You got Morgan Moses and Onwenu, which seemed to be our strong side, right? We have the two kind of guys who are solid. But Doug Marrone he proves between him and McDaniels and and Drake May with obviously the audible protections, these guys are just coached really well. It's unbelievable to see such a turnaround in the trenches with only really, Jared Wilson was what, a 4th round pick?
Yeah,
I believe.
Yeah, out of Georgia, and he was a center too,
and the 3rd center, right? Yeah, drafted as a center, which he didn't even really play that much. But now you kicked him into guard, which is not his natural position. And you have 2 rookies on the left side, and here we are with one of the, I'm not one of the best, but 10 to 15, we're definitely in that range of middle to the pack or better. And it's a lot of Doug Marrone.
This goes back, Joe, to the Vrabel effect, and I'm going to tell you why.
Yeah.
Do you think last year's current their coaching staff would have been able to land Doug Marrone?
Yeah, right. No, former head coach. Yeah, no.
So we have like 4 former assistant, coordinators or ex-head coaches. We got Thomas Brown as our tight ends coach, Todd Downey is our wide receivers coach, and Marrone, who's our offensive line coach. That's the Vrabel effect. He was like, we're going on this ride. Are you coming or not? And that's probably one of the unsung things too, is the quality of coaches that he's brought in. These guys all have real experience. When you saw Mayo's staff last year, it was up and comers just trying to like get a job, and none of them knew what the hell they were doing, and they didn't get any direction from the head coach. This is completely different, and it speaks volumes to have that professional, seasoned veteran coaching staff that these guys can respect. They're like, all right, Doug Marrone's been doing it for 30 years, so we might want to listen to the guy. You know what I mean? And I think that pays dividends. The only thing I'm worried about is like, the further we go in the playoffs, I feel like the more staff we're going to end up losing. I know I'm getting way ahead of myself on that one, but there's a lot of guys on our staff that are primed for head coaching jobs. But for right now, I'm going to toe the line and just enjoy the season as it is right now. We'll deal with all that crap in the off season. But no, Marrone he's been invaluable to that unit. Invaluable.
Yeah, and I think you hit the nail on the head right there, Mike, because that's what I was going to say. I think the fact that he's had head coaching experience, he commands respect just based on his resume alone, and the fact that he's been able to get 2 rookies to a point to where that they can not only start but right next to each other and hold down that left side of the line for the most part. We have essentially 4 new starters on the offensive line, so the fact that he's done a great job. It is some of the Vrabel effect in that we're able to get some of these guys who want to come in and be a part of a staff that's building something. And it seems like as a coaching staff in general, egos are put aside and everybody has a clear direction of what their job is, and they have confidence to be able to execute it. And I know I'm not supposed to give a flower to Mike Vrabel, but it's obviously due to him, right? He deserves it. He's the captain of the ship. He's the captain of the ship. So
he definitely deserves a lot of credit, man. I've been incredible.
He would get a bouquet. By the time at the end of this episode, he's gonna have a bouquet between him and Drake May. It's impossible. Yeah. We could have a whole episode of Shower and Mike Vrabel and Drake May.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. I was just nervous about him getting rid of all these veterans, but you know what? He proved me wrong because he got the guys that he wants in place. I expect that to continue.
That's right.
And I'm going to give you the last flower, and then we're going to talk about rest of the season and give our predictions and what do we think about playoffs and all this other stuff.
So I have a couple. I am going to give the last flower to Travion.
Hold on, this is like Travion Henderson. I was going to say this is like The Bachelor. The Bachelor. Last flower. Everyone else has to go home. Yeah. So I'm going to give the last flower to him. So. Number one, he's a great kid, right? Like if you listen to him in interviews, if you follow him on social media, he's a great kid. He brings something to our offense that I don't remember us having ever at the running back position. He is an explosive player. I was scratching my head as to why he wasn't getting the opportunities earlier on in the season. And obviously, he was able to get some of those opportunities with Stevenson going down and having some of his fumble troubles. But the fact that he stepped in, he kind of struggled a little bit with pass protecting early on, but I think he's getting better and he's developing. But if we use him as a chess piece,
it was said last night his running style is very similar to Jahmyr Gibbs. If he's even mentioned in the same category as Jahmyr Gibbs, man, we're going to be in really good shape for a long time to come. So, I mean, I got to give flowers to this kid, man. He's averaging like 5 yards per carry, man, and he has the ability to take it to the house every single time he touches the ball. So it's just it's an element to the offense that is really, really helpful. These little checkdowns, he's getting 4 or 5 yards, 10, sometimes even 10 yards before he's even touched. And I think that's just a testament to his skill set. I'm just happy to see that we're actually featuring him a little bit more. I did like the fact that we were, using Stevenson to start the game, establishing a little bit of toughness last night. But, Henderson's obviously the future, man. And so I got to give him his flowers.
I'm with you, Gaines. I said it one at the draft. I said, this is Jahmyr Gibbs light, and I'm only saying light because he's young. Because I think people do pigeonhole him as, oh, he's a scat back, he's a third down back, he's change of pace, he's this, he's that. I think this guy can put on a little bit more weight, and just like Jahmyr Gibbs did, right? Jahmyr Gibbs, if you look at him now, looks like a brick shithouse. He looks, he's probably playing at what, 235, 240. I mean, he looks pretty jacked.
What, Jahmyr Gibbs?
Gibbs,
no
I don't
way.
think he's that much. But
he's like 200, if that.
He just looks absolutely ripped.
I'm gonna say 210.
He's a specimen, but he's not huge like that.
No, he's not. But anyways, he looks like he is. But anyways, my whole point is Jahmyr Gibbs and him can play exactly the same. They absolutely can. Yeah. He can play between the tackles. He can play outside. I think with him, the speed of the game he's trying to figure out, because he is very fast, but I think his patience and his vision will grow as he gets older. Yeah, and I think he'll kind of see things set up and go, okay, now I need to turn it on, or now I need to cut it back, or because he's just very raw right now. But once he builds that into his game, I agree, he's scary. I don't know why Ramondre Stevenson got 12 carries last game and he got 11. It's to me, it's baffling. But again, this could be we don't need him right now. Let's get
this could be a little bit of load management.
Yeah, this is load management. This is like, all right, let's not get him hurt. We got Ramondre. Let's just push him. Let's get this game over with. That could be part of it. But the other thing that you said, which I 100% agree with, is this dude's a God-fearing, good dude, just solid good dude. Talk about role model for kids. He's just absolutely great for the league. He's great for the league in general. How many of these running backs are just, you're like, I don't want my kids
you don't want your kids following them.
Yeah, this guy. I want a humble pie, nice guy that just gets to work and makes great plays and is humble as hell. And that's everything he is. I mean, and he's going to be a superstar. He will be a superstar. That's not.
Did you ever hear the story about how he suffered from sleep paralysis when he was a kid?
No, I didn't hear that.
He suffered from sleep paralysis so bad that it ruined his whole life, and he didn't find religion until after that. Somebody introduced him to religion, and it totally changed his whole entire.
I know he almost committed suicide, right? I think.
I think it was because of the sleep.
On the
sleep paralysis.
Yeah, yep.
And I think
I didn't know that though.
Yeah, he came up in a troubled home. I think his brothers were in trouble or something. So he had a lot of anxiety and the sleep paralysis. And then he found God. And now the kid's the most humble kid you can possibly hope. He's a complete role model. He's a great kid, and he is what's next. So Stevenson can get all of his stuff he needs to get out of his way this year. Like I said, he might be a cap casualty, even if we have the money, which we do. He might be a casualty, and let that kid take the reins over. Maybe draft somebody else.
And drop the thumper. You need a thumper to go along with him. Get the thunder and lightning thing going. But I'm telling it's you give me the David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. Just give me that. That's all we need.
Yep, absolutely. But if you notice, the Lions have clearly transitioned to, all right, Jahmyr Gibbs is the guy, right?
Yes.
So I'm okay with year one it being kind of a split show. But obviously, I think on the eye test alone, we can see that Travion Henderson is the guy, right?
Oh, 100%, not without even a question. All right, guys. Well, let's our last segment we'll get into just kind of rest of the season observations, and we can take this, we'll leave this as open as you guys want. When it comes to me, looking at the rest of the schedule, I feel like we're probably at least going to get at least 2 wins. I think that's probably the floor, right? Because you're looking at the 2 division games and saying, okay, you got Miami at home, you got the Jets. Who cares? We could play them at Rucker Park and we'll beat them by 30 on concrete. I don't care where we play them. And then you got, I feel like we probably could split those games, right? The Ravens and the Bills, we get at least one of those wins. And I think this is kind of worst case scenario. Just looking at how we just played with, backup tackle and backup guard. Granted, you're playing against a banged up Giants team, but do the Colts and Ravens really scare us that much right now? I don't know. It doesn't feel like it. What do you think, Ant?
I think the Ravens, it's more of like the name is more scary than the actual team, right? Like I think if you look at the team in and of itself, I mean, obviously they have Lamar Jackson and he can strike fear into defenses, but if we look at matchup wise, I like our defense versus their offense, right? We have the cornerbacks to be able to keep up with the Flowers, and they have another speedy receiver.
Bateman,
we have we talked Bateman. About Bateman, which I'm glad that he's kind of progressed into something. His career was kind of a slow start, but I'm not really scared of the Ravens. Defensively they have a bunch of big names, but it really hasn't translated into a solid defense yet. I mean, obviously Kyle Hamilton is a guy back there. But I mean, the way that we've been playing, and especially if we do play them, we would be at home. I have confidence in us, man. I'm sorry.
We're away from the Ravens. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. So we would be on the road. I agree with the split. I could see us off the bye beating the Bills. If I'm going to concede one of the games, I'd rather concede the Ravens game as opposed to the Bills game.
Of course.
But yeah, I mean, I see us finishing the season strong, 2-2, 3-1 for sure.
I feel like the Bills game is gonna be a dogfight because they have their backs up against the wall, and Josh Allen, we saw what he did with his 6 touchdown game a few weeks ago, where he just put the team on his back, literally. Not to say that they're going to do that against us, but they have the potential, and we'll see if he does that and they score 6 touchdowns. Can we do the same? And I think that'll be interesting to see because we've done it. Against the Panthers, right? The Panthers, we scored 40. Was it 42?
42. Yeah.
So we've scored over 40, but it's not on a regular basis that we're doing that. We're 20 to 30 points is pretty much our wheelhouse. But it'll be interesting when we get into a shootout like that. Can we keep up with that kind of firepower? Yeah. What do you think, Mike?
I mean, I hate to keep sounding like a broken record here, but I actually agree with you guys on the split. I think if we get out, and the reason for it is, I think if we split between either the Ravens or the Bills, I'm just gonna call it either way. It might not be our day, and then I think, depending on how the seeding falls, we might lose to the Dolphins because it might not mean anything to us, depending on what happens with the Broncos. If we're in a dogfight for the number 1 seed, then we're definitely going to ball out on that game. But if we already have the number 1 seed locked up, or conversely, if we have no way of getting a higher seed than the one that we currently have, then I can picture us resting guys on that day. And the Dolphins are still going to have like pride to play for. So I can see a 2-2 split. Now, don't get me wrong. I want to be wrong because I feel in my heart that we can beat all 4 of these teams. I really do. But I'm looking at it pragmatically and saying if we end up 13-4, I think we can still end up with the number 1 seed. So I'm being a little bit pessimistic about it, and I expect them to prove me wrong. I hope that they do.
And if you think about this, right? So the Broncos have the Raiders week 14, which who cares? You got the Packers come week 15. Then you got the Jags, who have shown that they can beat teams.
Jaguars are a decent team.
Yeah, and then you got the Chiefs, and then you got the Chargers. I mean,
That's the Broncos, right? The
The
Broncos.
Broncos. So
Yeah.
it's not
they
like
got a
they
tough
don't have
schedule.
they don't have a pushover schedule by any
Not at
means.
all.
So they could drop 2 of those games easily. And
They're
who knows?
due. They're
They are
due to
due because
lose,
they've
man.
won. They're
They've been
like the
squeaking
Chiefs.
by the skin of their teeth. Yeah.
They're like the Chiefs of last year, right?
Last
The
year,
15-1 Chiefs, where they just won all these close games. 15-1 it was the most fraudulent 15-1 team I've ever seen, and then they got absolutely embarrassed in the Super Bowl by the Eagles. So
Right.
I'm not saying that they're essentially that, but their offense is suspect as hell. Their defense bails them out big time. Their defense covers up a lot of bad things on offense. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I
And they were a Nick Bonito, batted pass down away from losing to the Commanders with the backup quarterback.
yes, Mariota, dude.
He would listen, and all respect to Mariota, but he was open, right? So
he was
if
wide open.
if he just floated that over,
yeah,
that's game right there.
That's
so.
game.
Wide
Ball
open.
Game. Yeah, Nick Bonito is an absolute animal. That guy is
beast.
like, oh.
They have a good team.
Listen to this, right? So their last 4 games, 18-15 at the Texans, 10-7 against the Raiders, 22-19 against the Chiefs, 27-26 against the Commanders. Like they are scraping by.
Yeah. They're not pretty wins.
I just don't want to go into Denver. That's all. I want the top seed. And who thought we would be thinking about this when preseason was here? We would be talking about in week 13 the top damn seed for crying out loud.
We were talking about the Broncos at 6 and us at 7. I'm pretty sure that was our big thing. We were like, all right, they'll be at 6. The Chiefs are going to be up here. The Ravens are going to be up here. The Bills are going to be up here. And here we are. And it's just like
here we are.
A completely flipped script. But hey, I'll take it, man. I'll take it.
It's going to be such an interesting stretch run here. I can't wait.
I can't wait. And then you look at the Super Bowl potential, right? You got the NFC is even more wide open, I would say. The Seahawks are playing amazing, but they have faults. They have issues. The Seahawks, the Rams. That's how I was thinking of. And the Eagles, I don't know what to think of them. They don't feel like a contender at all. They've lost a lot of players. They lost a lot. I don't know. Is it Jalen Hurts? Is it Saquon?
They lost
Saquon
to the Giants earlier this year for crying out loud.
Saquon took a big step back.
I think there's a lot of turmoil going on internally too, especially with AJ Brown and so I think that doesn't bode well for on-field performance. I'm with you. I'm not 100% bought in or sold on the Eagles. But you never know, man. Like once these teams get into the playoffs and you play that second season, anything can happen. Which is why I feel like we're a team that's still on the ascension. Like I don't feel like we've peaked yet, which is a good thing.
Yep.
But we haven't been there yet, and a team like the Eagles has. They know how to win in the playoffs. We don't know that. So that's going to be a true I know it has nothing to do with the other, but that's going to be a true test, whoever we face in the AFC, about whether we're actually for real, if we can come out on that type of stage. So we just have to white knuckle it until that time and see how the seeds fall. It would be fantastic to get a number 1 seed throughout the playoffs, but we'll see. I'm hoping the Broncos choke, basically, is what I'm thinking.
Love it.
All right, boys. Well, it's been a great episode. I don't know what I'm going to do next week. I'm going to be besides myself with no Patriots and Drake May.
Well, hell, Joe, we're on 90 minutes. You can just double it up. We'll make it a 3-hour marathon. You can split it up half this week and split it up next week, and we'll be all squared away. We've been married.
I got to get some coffee first.
Yeah, you've been a trooper, man. You hung out with us all 90 minutes. So
listen. I can talk Patriots ball all night long, man, and especially. So listen, I'm a Patriots fan, right? So especially since we battled through these last couple of years, I'm just on a high of the season that we've had. I'm on a high of like the season that we had, the future that we have, the cap space, just the coaching, the team camaraderie. So again, man, I can talk Patriots all day long.
I couldn't sum it up any better.
Yeah, we're on a high right now, boys, that I don't want to get down from. But what I keep subscribing to, and Bryson, who's one of the kind of New England sports media guys on Twitter, he always says we're playing with house money, and there's no other way to put it. We are literally playing with house money. This is all gravy right now. If anything happens, it's still a win. This is a big win. It's a huge building block. We're in year 2 of the rebuild already. I cannot wait to see what we do in the free agency. Maybe we'll talk about that next week. Free agency, looking at the draft. We didn't give up any draft picks in this. That's another huge bonus of this trade deadline. We didn't give up any draft capital. So the sky's the limit, boys. I mean, let's see year 2. Look at our draft this year. Most of the guys are starters or they're depth pieces at the very least. It's unbelievable. It's uncanny. It's unheard of. It's what it is. It's like no team is like this. Have drafted this many players that are all contributing. And a team that's won 10 games in a row of like made up of all brand new players that are rookies or guys that haven't even played here. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
And who has the most cap space in the league?
And the most cap space. Yeah, hold on. Just throw that on top. 50 million in cap space. They're going to raise it 25 million next year, so we'll probably be at like 75 million. Granted, we have to sign some people. You got to sign Gonzo. You got to sign some people.
We're back.
We're back. I hate to say it, haters.
Yes, we are back.
All right, guys. It's been a great episode. And as always, thank you, Anthony. And as always, let's
go.
Let's
go. Appreciate you guys.
Baby. No problem.